when it comes to red flags, one thing I'd love to get a layer more specific on too is the differences between engaging the folks within your organization who are people of color, historically marginalized around DEI work, because this is something I've seen a lot of, where it's like, oh, we have a Black person on staff, so they're going to lead the charge on all of our DEI initiatives. But you also mentioned it's important to engage the audience and you don't want to do things without them. What is the right balance there to not be burdening people, but make sure you're engaging them kind of on their terms? I'd love to hear some practical advice for that.
Yeah, I'll start because I know these ladies could probably say a whole bunch more than I will. But I think the as you mentioned, oftentimes they look at an individual, irregardless of how they feel internally, whether they're an introvert or extrovert, and they look at the stereotypical things or the things that they feel are pretty obvious, and then they kind of, with the wand, point, that person. Oh, as you mentioned, you're Black, so lead our diversity, equity, and inclusion, and there's that subtext that it's only a racial thing when diversity, equity, and inclusion is so much more than that. I always like to keep reminding people of that. It's so much more than just that. But I think that does put a lot of burden. I think that the opportunity would be to figure out or to ask who else in the organization would like to contribute to this process. And I think that you get a lot from asking folks as opposed to making assumptions about things.
You want to go next? All right. I'll go. I'll just give a little insight. That it goes back again to, right, the lived experiences are emotional. So when you have people, marginalized people, I don't even want to say minority because that constitutes that someone's less than just by when you have marginalized communities in any place, you want to engage them as much as they feel that they belong. So it goes back to the DEIB, right? If I feel valued and I feel like I'm thriving and that this company or this organization is really being authentic, even though we may not be where we want to be, but we're ready to go on this journey together, I'm liable to buy in and I can be your token, right? I even with tokenism, somebody has to be first, right? Somebody. It's not necessarily the negative thing that it's always been, but I'm willing to help you on this journey. But if I'm over it, if I'm tired, if I'm sick and tired, right? And I'm over it, then it's going to be hard for me to stay, more or less, for you to recruit, for me to help you change your narrative. So even though we want to recruit others, we have to make sure that the people that we have are in a good place. It's like the commercial from like the 70s or 80s about the hair care. And it kept going with the box. It's like, and you have great hair, and so on, and so on, and so on. So when you have a good experience as a marginalized person in a place, you're more apt to tell other people. And what you don't want is you asking me, how can you make it better? And if I can recruit my friends and my families and my college and everybody, and I'm on a job search trying to get out of here.